세계평화선언 5주년 기념행사 및 전쟁종식 평화 걷기에 대해 오신 여러분께 다시 한번 안내 말씀드립니다.
Ladies and gentlemen, to the 5th annual commemoration of the Declaration of World Peace and the Peace Walk. Thank you for coming. We will soon begin the ceremony. Please take your seats. Look at us in pieces. Our hearts broken apart. Who will make us one again? When will we meet again? A war no one wants. No one ever wanted it. There's no failure, not anymore. We won't get this chance again. This is the moment we've been dreaming of. The sky we share, the hearts we share, towards a new tomorrow. Let's shout for peace. Towards a new tomorrow. Let's shout for peace. Towards a new tomorrow. The eyes of the earth are watching. The ears of the world are listening. A bit of courage, that's all it takes. Then we can do it whatever may come. This is the moment everyone waited for. It's the peace everyone longed for. Now it's not a dream, but it came true. Here and now at this moment. The dream we all longed for. The sky we share, the hearts we share, towards a new tomorrow. Let's shout for peace. Towards a new tomorrow. Let's shout for peace. Towards a new tomorrow. Let's sing a song of peace. The coming peace belongs to you. Let's sing a song of peace. The world of peace belongs to you. That was Shout for Peace, performed by the leaders of the future, children and the youth. Please give a big hand to IPYG Choir Group. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 5th annual commemoration of the Declaration of World Peace and the Peace Walk, hosted by HWPL, IPYG, and IWPG as organizers participating. I am your host, Choi Seung-bin. May 25th, 2013, the Declaration of World Peace was proclaimed at the Peace Gate of the Seoul Olympic Park in South Korea. It has been 5 years since then. The declaration won recognition from across societies. Politics, religion, the media, education, youth groups, and women's groups acknowledge the Declaration of World Peace as a concrete answer to achieving the cessation of war and bringing global peace. Currently, there are peace messengers all around the globe actively working for peace as one family of peace. Developing the content of the Declaration of World Peace, an even concrete measure was proposed through another declaration. That is the Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War that was announced on March 14, 2016. It's the DPCW in short. The DPCW has 10 articles and 38 clauses that cover values and measures for establishing peace. The content include respect for the rule of international law, peaceful resolve of conflict, freedom of religion, and spreading a culture of peace. The DPCW also lays out measures to resolve wars around the globe, including the tensions surrounding the Korean Peninsula. Based on wide recognition it has won from many world leaders, the DPCW is currently underway for discussion to admit to the UN. Today's commemoration is to celebrate the 5th anniversary of the Declaration of World Peace and also to support and urge for the submission of the DPCW to the international communities as part of the legal agenda. Currently, we are holding the ceremony in Seoul, Korea, and at the same time, we have audiences and simultaneous events across the nation in Daejeon, Wonju, Daegu, Gwangju, Jeonju, and Busan, and around the world in 50 cities in Australia, China, Germany, Japan, and the US. Many locations are joining us as we speak over live broadcast. Honoring that we meet in Seoul, Korea today, I ask the international audience to kindly rise for the national ceremony.
국기에 대하여 경례.
I pledge, in front of the Taeguk flag, allegiance to the Republic of Korea for the eternal glory of the country, liberty, and justice.
바로
At ease.
이어서 애국가 제창이 있겠습니다.
Thank you. Now we will sing the first verse of the national anthem.
다음으로 전쟁에 희생된 모든
Now we will have a moment of silence to pay tribute to the men and women who fell for their nation.
일동 묵념. 바로 모두
Thank
자리에
you.
앉아주시기 바랍니다.
Please be seated.
오늘 이곳 뚝섬 현장은 지금 2만여 명이
Today, 20,000 audiences are joining this ceremony. The stage is at this place called Duksum, a small islet on Han River. And you will notice we have a rather special stage setting. We have the audiences facing the stage and each other from the front and back sides of the stage. It's a good reminder of how we're working together for a shared goal of peace.
이 뜻깊은 날을 맞아 한 자리에 모인
Why don't we take this chance to say hello to each other by waving our hands to the other side? Hello? Nice to meet you. And welcome.
평화를 사랑하는 가족들이 한 자리에 모여서 그런지 여러분들의 표정이 더욱더
I can
밝은
see
것
bright
같습니다.
smiles on your faces,
오늘
and
기념식
it's another
현장에는
good
특별한
reminder
장관이
of
또
our
있는데요.
shared goal and shared
하늘과 이 땅을
efforts.
이어주듯
Another
날고
special
있는
feature
강평원을
noticeable
보실 수가
are the kites
있습니다.
hanging above.
세계 평화선언문이
Those are
선포된
shield-shaped
5월
traditional
25일
Korean
이후로
kites
여러
connecting the
국가와
ground
민족이
and the sky.
이날을 기념하고
As you know, May
기념일로
25th
조성하고
is
있는데요.
celebrated as Peace Day in many cities across the globe, and today we have 525 kites flying above us.
이 연들은 평화의
These
소원을
kites have
품고
peace
하늘을
messages
날고 있는데요.
attached to their tails.
사회 각계의
World
인사들,
leaders
그리고
and
많은
citizens wrote their
시민들이
hopes for
연보에
peace.
평화의 소원을 적어주셨습니다. 그리고 한국
And I should
참전
remark
용사들께서도
that Korean
평화의
War
소원을
veterans also
직접
wrote their
적어주셨는데요.
message of peace
지금 이
and
자리에
tied it
참전
on the
용사
kites
10분이
afloat.
IPYG
We have 10
회원들과
veterans
함께
right here with us
앉아
today with the
있습니다.
IPYG members.
생명을 걸었던 참전
Please
용사
welcome the men who fought
따뜻한
for their
박수
nation and
보내주시기
fellow
바랍니다.
Koreans with a warm applause.
네, 고맙습니다.
Thank you very much.
바야흐로 전 세계에 평화의 바람이 부는 시대가 되었습니다.
Now we are living an era of peace. And to move on to the program, I would like to have HWPL. HWPL will report to you on the progress of the peace work. Please join me in welcoming HWPL Secretary General Chun-taek Lim with a big round of applause.
Heavenly Culture, World Peace, Restoration of Light, Progress Report. Heavenly Culture, World Peace, Restoration of Light, HWPL, is an international peace organization with branches in 170 countries worldwide. It was founded for the cessation of war and the achievement of world peace. Establishing world peace through a heavenly culture and restoring light is the spirit of HWPL, which carries out peace activities globally. Its partner group, International Women's Peace Group (IWPG) and International Peace Youth Group (IPYG), and leaders in diverse areas from across the world, forming 154 advisors and 495 publicity ambassadors, are working for peace together with HWPL. Chairman Man-hee Lee, the founder of HWPL, has been leading such work with the answer for peace and cessation of war. On August 15, 2010, in front of the Peace Gate in the Olympic Park in Seoul, he declared the Declaration of Unification for the peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula. On May 25, 2013, at the same location, he announced the Declaration of World Peace. On that day, 30,000 young people from 130 nations in the audience pledged their active participation in the peace work, which started a peace movement led by the youth community in the world to spread his peace work across the globe. Chairman Man-hee Lee and the peace delegation have traveled to 70 different countries on 27 peace tours until May 2018 and met with people from all walks of life, including leaders in politics, religion, law, civil society, and heads of various organizations. In all such encounters, HWPL joined the hearts and minds of people toward the goal of peace and the cessation of war. At the same time, it led in innovative initiatives to establish peace, such as a legal instrument that fundamentally prohibits acts of war, bringing religious harmony to eradicate religious conflicts that instigate war, and peace education that brings out peace messengers and spreading a culture of peace. As a result, HWPL has made continuous progress. Following the Declaration of World Peace in 2013, HWPL signed the Mindanao Peace Agreement in the Philippines on January 2014, and also the World Alliance of Religious Peace Summit on September 18, 2014 is annually held by HWPL. And also, the Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War is proclaimed on March 14, 2016. Such progress is remarked by many significant and concrete achievements for peace. A multinational group of international law experts of the HWPL International Law Peace Committee are at the forefront of campaigning in support of a legal document for peace based on the 10 articles and 38 clauses of the DPCW and the efforts to promote a culture of peace. The HWPL work offices are being held in 218 branches in 126 countries worldwide. Globally, participants of the Warp Office conferences are currently working on verifying and sharing the factors of a trustworthy scripture based on prophecies and their fulfillment. Mr. Lee, the chairman of HWPL, has always been an active supporter of the culture of peace and the spirit of peace, which is currently shared as a peace curriculum for children and teenagers. 138 schools globally have been designated as HWPL Peace Academies and signed MOUs for peace education. In January this year, HWPL signed an MOA with the Commission on Higher Education of the Philippines and laid the grounds for making peace education available for all universities in the Philippines. Deans and chancellors of universities in Indonesia were appointed as HWPL peace educators and completed peace educating training. Also, a national university in Jakarta appointed Chairman Manhi Lee as an honorary rector. HWPL Peace Academies provide peace education with textbooks covering the peace progress and peace work led by HWPL to all students, and peace education is reminding students around the world of the value of peace. HWPL also published a book, The True Story of Heavenly Culture, World Peace, Restoration of Light, starting with Ukraine, Sweden, Romania, Germany, and Norway, the countries the peace delegation visited during the 27th World Peace Tour. The book will be placed in major libraries and institutions around the globe. The purpose of HWPL is to bring the cessation of war and to achieve peace as a lasting legacy for future generations. At the same time, HWPL is receiving letters of support from former and current heads of state who wrote to HWPL to express their support for a peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula and for world peace in the international community. Therefore, we firmly believe that the two Koreas will reunite peacefully and serve the world as a leading example of a peaceful culture. Now the entire global community is well aware of the peace work led by HWPL Peace Messengers and are joining hands together. I encourage you all to see firsthand how the world of peace is coming into place and to take part in opening an era of peace as peace messengers. I take this opportunity to thank all of you for attending the 5th annual commemoration of the Declaration of World Peace. And with this, I conclude the HWPL Progress Report. Thank you very much. 25th May 2018, HWPL Secretary General Jun Taek Lim.
Thank you. It is time peace sweeps across the globe, and all nations are becoming a family of peace with HWPL. What HWPL and we yearn for. Isn't it becoming one under the word peace? We have a video clip on what the world hopes for, reflecting the voices of the world. Let us watch the video clip.
우리가 내일을 꿈꿀 때
While we dream of a better tomorrow, there are people whose tomorrow is not even guaranteed to them. While we throw a tantrum at our parents, there are children who cannot even feel the warmth of their parents. While religion brings hope to our lives, there are people whose lives are threatened by religion. While our children draw a picture of their future, there are children who cannot even imagine a future. But here, there is a definite solution to bring the light of peace from the darkness of war.
인간 존엄성을 지키고
It is the declaration of peace and cessation of war that will protect human dignity, maintain international peace, and leave a world of peace as a legacy to our future generations. It is the DPCW's 10 articles and 38 clauses. The prohibition of the threat or use of force in Articles 1 and 2 of the DPCW can protect mankind from weapons of war and make us dream of a tomorrow. Self-determination in Article 5 and the right to self-defense in Article 7 can prevent a tragedy from occurring in the Korean Peninsula and the pain of separation from loved ones. Articles 8 and 9 of the DPCW present ways to settle religious disputes through peace dialogues and debates, and protect lives that are threatened by religious conflicts.
제10조
Spreading a culture of peace in Article 10 promotes the value of peace through education and helps children draw a bright future. War is like a seed of misery that destroys the earth. We need your support until the DPCW is implemented in countries around the globe. Your active support will bring peace and happiness to the world. The DPCW is the solution for a new era and a new world.
네. 이번 순서는
At this time, we'll listen to the commemorative address to celebrate this event. First of all, we'll have the director of IPYG, Jung Young-min, to come on the stage. IPYG is a youth group with youth all over the world to bring an end to wars and to build a future of peace. IPYG is working actively for peace around the world. Now please give a big round of applause to IPYG Director Jung Young-min. Dear all who love peace, my name is Young-min Jung, and I am the director of IPYG. I'm honored to stand here and deliver a message of peace to you all, especially in May 2018, when the spring of peace seems to have come to the Korean Peninsula. Ladies and gentlemen, it has already been around 70 years since the Korean Peninsula was divided in half by the external powers against the will of the Korean people. Although it has been difficult for separated families and all Korean people, the Korean Peninsula is now about to welcome a new era of peace as the leaders of the two Koreas met together.
하지만
However,
한 가지
there is one thing we should never
잊지 말아야 할
forget.
점이 있습니다. 남북의
Since the
분단이
division of the Korean
정치,
Peninsula is
국제
intertwined
관계에
with the
얽혀 있기
complicated web of
한반도의
international
진정한
affairs, the
평화인
peaceful
평화
unification of the Korean Peninsula
국민의
can be
의지와
made possible
목소리가
only through the
있어야만
will and the
가능하다는
voice
것입니다.
of citizens.
또한 이는
In addition to the
남북의
support of the
국민이
Korean
원할 뿐
people,
아니라
we need the
전
support
세계의
of the
지지도
international
필요합니다.
community as a whole.
국민의 목소리와 지지,
I understand
그리고 전
that all
세계의
these could sound very difficult
너무나도
to
어렵게
achieve.
들립니다. 하지만
However,
저는
I'm
오늘
here today
여러분께
to give you
희망의
all
소식을
hope,
전하고 싶습니다. 바로
which is the peace work of
HWPL
Chairman
행보입니다.
Man-hee Lee of HWPL.
HWPL
Until 2 days ago, Chairman Lee was visiting Europe for the peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula, receiving signatures from many former and current heads of state in support of Korean unification. These signatures demonstrate the support of all European citizens and people as well. Chairman Lee also gave us the wisdom to write handwritten letters in South Korea and the entire world. Peace letters have been delivered recently to the current Prime Minister of Malaysia to deliver the message of peace from a Malaysian youth, and in Korea only around 150,000 young people are writing peace letters to urge the President of South Korea for his support of the DPCW. Ladies and gentlemen, a true messenger of peace must be able to prove his work by showing concrete results. Chairman Lee proclaimed the Declaration of World Peace 5 years ago, and he proclaimed the Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War, DPCW, in only 3 years after the Declaration of World Peace. The DPCW is now about to be introduced in the United Nations General Assembly. The contents of the Declaration of Unification, which was proclaimed in 2010, are being fulfilled concretely in the Articles 5 and 10 of the DPCW in the direction of peaceful unification desired by Korean people. And what does this mean? This means that we have an answer to achieve peace. All of us have always dreamt of answer for peace. However, we are all witnessing and confirming this answer for peace. If we have found the true answer for peace, what should we do now? What we need to do right now is to work together by becoming one. If all Korean people and citizens of the entire globe work together as one, no one will be able to interfere with this peace work. If we do so, peaceful unification and world peace will surely be realized. In order to do so, IPYG will collect peace letters in South Korea and let this work be known to the President and the media. And also, we will write peace letters Also, we'll write peace letters in countries around the world to deliver our message to heads of state around the world. I hope that all of you will actively join in HWPL's efforts for peace and the campaign for the peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula. If we work together, we can certainly achieve peace together. Please remember this. We are one. Thank you for listening.
네, 감사합니다.
Thank you for the great speech. Please give him another round of applause.
최근 평화 활동 분야에서
We see that women's voices are loud in all walks of life, and especially we see active movement in peace activities. As the IWPG brings the heart of women as one and establishes a network of women, its activities are making contribution to such a change. With the heart of mother to leave a peaceful world as a legacy to future generation, IWPG is working hard. Today we invite Director Hyun-Suk Yoon to the stage to give a commemorative speech.
사랑하는 평화 가족 여러분, 안녕하세요.
Greetings, beloved family of peace. I am Hyun-Suk Yoon, the Director of International Women's Peace Group Headquarters. And I've been working with the 3.7 billion women across the globe for world peace. I would like to welcome all the guests here to the 5th annual commemoration of the Declaration of World Peace. And it is my pleasure to meet everyone. On this refreshing and delightful day in May, we're having this event that even the heaven and earth rejoices in. And in different parts of the globe, there are these celebrations taking place. So truly, today is a day of festival for everyone yearning for peace. 5 years ago today, the Declaration of World Peace Chairman Lee proclaimed became the seed. And throughout the 27 rounds of World Peace Tours, he has sown the seed in tears and in sweat. Chairman Lee visited various parts of the world that there is nearly nowhere that he hasn't reached. And he strived for peace as an owner would take care of his home. Despite his age nearing 90, Chairman Lee continued his tireless endeavors, putting aside his health and even risking his life, and appealed to people to become one and take part in the effort to end all wars and build a peaceful world. Such efforts have moved the heart of the heaven. That HWPL is producing unprecedented results that no civil organization or even nations could achieve. I am sure that through the progress report, you're able to see the remarkable results as well. Anyone who loves peace must carry out what is written in the Declaration of World Peace. And I have no doubt that soon, the cessation of war and achievement of peace will take place according to the Declaration. Furthermore, the Declaration of Unification Chairman Lee proclaimed 8 years ago. This declaration is becoming a reality of having peace on the Korean Peninsula. And currently, the whole world is paying keen attention to the two Koreas. The leaders of both the North and the South need to strive to build peace that citizens hope for and to ensure that people don't remain as citizens of a divided nation, And we have to achieve this with our own hands.
전쟁 종식과
Ending the war and uniting peacefully will serve as the catalyst for establishing peace in the world. If humanity fails to achieve world peace at this prime time granted by heaven, then all that will be left for humanity will be destruction.
지구촌에 멸망밖에 없을 것입니다. 이제는 인류 평화를
To achieve
위해
peace,
정치인들과
first politicians and legal experts need to work toward implementing a binding international law for peace and cessation of war, while religious leaders need to become one under the Creator. And all youth and women need to check and garner support for such endeavors to bear fruit. It is time we implement an international instrument that becomes a new standard so that a safe and peaceful world can be built. This is what humanity hopes for. The will of the Creator is in unity rather than division, and peace rather than war. Let us stop remembering wars, but instead commemorate only peace that is lasting. To this end, I ask all women to work together with the IWPG. And all youth, please cooperate with the IPYG. We have the future we want ahead of us. At this time, what we need is the faith that peace will come in this generation, and courage and the power to put words into action. All of us here today are the key players in building peace, and you are the messengers of peace. So let us gather our strength to end all wars and establish peace. Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful speech. Please give another round of applause to Director Yoon. We stand at a time where we dearly hope for peace. And we can see here tens of thousands of people across the country and in the world. The number reaches hundreds of thousands of people that are celebrating the day world peace was proclaimed. And there's a leader who moved the heart of the world with his tireless effort for peace. And he is here today. The world calls him the President of Peace. Chairman Lee, who changed the history of humanity from wars to peace, let us invite him to the speech. Invite him to the stage for his speech.
Dear family of peace, greetings to you all. I am the chairman of HWPL, Man-hee Lee. Today, we're celebrating the Declaration of World Peace, which was proclaimed 5 years ago, which was the first of its kind in history. Today, 5 years later, how has the world changed? On this day, as I look at all of you here today, I'm very glad to see all of you. all the world is wanting peace. Nobody wants war. That's why I'm sure that peace will be realized in the world. If you look at the status of the global world right now, the Korean Peninsula and the people living on this land have suffered very much, and also because of the division, we remain divided, and all of us must want peace together. Since we are still divided, all of us together must work for peace. We should not think of peace being given to us by other people, but we must become messengers of peace and must work for peace from ourselves first. I've gone around the world multiple times. And wherever I went, I realized that people across different walks of life, politicians, religious leaders, they all wanted peace. And many people around the world, they thought of the Korean Peninsula as the powder keg of the entire world, thinking that this could be the starting place for world conflicts. However, people's opinions and thoughts have changed. People have come to realize that through the peace in the Korean Peninsula, world peace will also be realized. It's written in the Declaration of Unification. The leaders of South and North Korea, they held hands together for peace. And after this inter-Korean summit meeting, many leaders around the world are supporting for the Korean reunification. This is a very glad news, right? We must all be very happy about this. From my personal experience with the South Korean people, I think that we have been too idle about the situation right now. All the countries in the world are concerned about the security in the Korean Peninsula and are worrying about the current situation. And our country, our peninsula, must be reunified, and the reunification must be peaceful, right? Our country, which proclaimed the Declaration of World Peace, I'm sure that we will be the country of peace, love, and a country where all of our hearts are united as one. And with all of us together, we need to support for the peaceful unification of the peninsula. Killing our own people and holding guns and rifles at each other, no one in the world will think of us as a good country. We must put an end to all this situation, and we need to get support from the international community so that we can be reborn as a peaceful country. I am very confident that the world of mankind will be a peaceful one. Look at the Roman Empire, which used to control a vast region in the past. Also, think about the Soviet Union, which used to control the communist bloc during the Cold War. You must know about this, right? And also, if you look at Central and South America, who colonized these regions? It was Spain. And look at India, which has 1.2 billion people. And all these countries are going back to the original state before colonization and imperialism. We are witnessing all this change in the international community, and we are entering into a new era, a new generation. And South Korea, North Korea need to be one together, just as it was before the Japanese colonization. We must go back to the original state of things. The universe and all space have also come back to the original state in the beginning. And that's why I believe that all creations will go back to the original state. We need to go back to the original state in the beginning with peace. God, who created all creations in the world, if God is with us here in Korea, then I'm sure that all people in the world will be blessed because God is here with us in South Korea. That must be the case, right? And when it comes to religion, we should no longer have any conflicts and wars because of these differences, but we need to all be one in God. And all the world must become one together in God as well. And I am sure that all this will be realized. And I've seen former and current heads of state supporting the peaceful unification, and I saw many people from different walks of life supporting reunification. And as I witnessed this work personally, I realized that God is working through us to achieve this together. However, the citizens and people of Korea, we are the true owners of this country, and we must all work for peace together and become peace messengers so that as owners of this country, we can make this into a peaceful country. So whatever I do, I will make sure to complete my mission and to achieve my goals. I have transcended all borders of nationality, ethnicity, and religion, and I did so in order to achieve world peace. Just like light, rain, and air from heaven, all creation is living thanks to the grace from heaven. And since we also received grace from heaven, we must, just like light, rain, and air, we must give love to the entire world and give grace as well. Therefore, it is not only us who are gathered here today. It is God the Creator. Also, He's here with us right now as well. And in different places around the world, there are peace events, and I'm sure that God the Creator is with all these different events as well. And let us never forget about the situation of the Korean Peninsula. And never, please, this is a day we can never forget. Lastly, I'd like to ask one favor of all of you. All citizens and people in each country, they must urge their heads of state and their politicians to bring an end to wars and to support the work of the DPCW and to sign in support of the declaration. If they truly love their citizens and the world and their countries, they need to sign in support of the DPCW. And the reason why they need to do so is because if we do exactly according to the declaration, then peace will surely be realized in the world. If they do not sign in support of the DPCW, then cessation of war and world peace will not be realized, and they will demonstrate that they don't want this in the world. I've gone around the world many times to achieve world peace and cessation of war, and whomever I've met, politicians, religious leaders, nobody wanted war. Everybody wanted world peace. Then, if that's the case, heads of state who are in charge of all their citizens and their country, they must sign in support of the 10 articles and 38 clauses of the DPCW. There's no country without citizens. There's no head of state without a country. And this is how the world is. Presidents and politicians, they all exist for the sake of their citizens. If that's the case, they must do what their citizens want, right? I went around the world for peace because I had the solution and answer to achieve peace. IWPG and IPYG also made remarks about the special event today, and we must all work together just as they presented to all of you. And all women, they must be one together with the IWPG, and only then will the world become one. And all the youth in the world, they must be one together with the IPYG, and through that, peace will be realized. We must do this, right? All media and broadcasting stations, they are publicizing our peace work, and they must publicize our work so that this peace work will be achieved soon. Of course, those who do not want peace, they will not publicize our peace work. However, if they want peace, I'm sure they will broadcast our work so that all the world will come to know about our work. There are those who are opposing our work with their own thoughts and with their own biases. And all the media must broadcast and publicize our work if they truly want peace. And for the sake of mankind, I believe that all media will publicize the work of HWPL. As the peace delegation of HWPL visited each country, I'm sure that you all watched our call for peace. If we all work, we have all worked for peace with devotion, and I hope that we all become one together. The IPYG director, he said, we are one, right? And all family of peace in the world, let us all become peace messengers. We are all one together. Thank you very much for listening.
네, 귀한 말씀 감사합니다.
Thank you for the moving speech. Please give another round of applause to Chairman Lee.
다음으로
Next, we have congratulatory speeches from guests. First, we invite a religious leader to the stage. Venerable Baphae Kim, a Buddhist leader, will give the speech. Venerable Baphae Kim is the chair of Central Council of Korean Unification and Buddhism and has devoted to the work of unification. Please welcome him with a round of applause.
평화를 사랑하는 대한민국 국민 여러분,
To citizens of Korea who love peace,
세계 평화를 이루어가는
members of HWPL who are working toward achievement of world peace,
한국 회원 여러분, 그리고 내 입은
ladies and gentlemen,
안녕하십니까?
greetings.
저는 대통령 직속 헌법기관인
I am a leader of a organization that reports directly to President. It is called the Central Council of Korean Unification and Buddhism.
불교 중앙협의회 의장을 맡고 있는
And my name is Baphae Kim.
스님입니다. 일찍이 원용부여와
I've studied and learned about non-obstructive totality and philosophy of harmony in Buddhism
생명의 평등 실현과
and have worked to realize equality and protect dignity of life
실천해온
and achieve unification on the Korean Peninsula.
HWPL
And as a person who has devoted myself to all these for the past 30 years,
5주년
it is my
기념행사에
greatest pleasure
함께하게
to
된
be
것을
here and give speech at the fifth annual commemoration of the Declaration of World Peace.
그리고 초대해 주신
Also,
HWPL
I would like to take this opportunity
이만희 대표님께
to express my words of
이
gratitude
자리로
to HWPL
감사의
Chairman
말씀을
Man Hee Lee.
올리면서 존경합니다.
And I would like to say that I truly respect him.
2013년 오늘
In 2013, today,
세계 평화
HWPL
선언문을
proclaimed the Declaration of World
세계
Peace.
평화 선언문의 내용
And since then,
하나하나를 이루기
It has
위해
strived to achieve what is written in the
저는
declaration.
보았고
I have seen their efforts and I am well aware of them.
무엇보다 전쟁 종식
Above all,
평화 선언문
the essence of their peace project and efforts is
전
embodied
세계적으로
in the 10 articles and 38 clauses of the Declaration of World Peace and Cessation
많은
of
평화
War.
사업이 바로 그 실체이며
And I am aware that HWPL has been striving to submit it to the UN and have it implemented at an international level.
들어섰다고
And this light of peace have led the world to the path leading toward peace and liberation.
저는 앞으로도 세계 평화 선언문의
That is why
모든 내용이
I have full faith that all the contents of the Declaration of World Peace will be
위대한
achieved,
평화 행보에
and I will take part in this grand journey toward peace.
또한 2010년에
Also, in 2010,
조국 통일 선언문에서
the
천명한
Declaration of Unification that Chairman Lee
민족
proclaimed,
사랑의 정신과 통일
it
의지는
reflected his love for his
생명의
people
씨앗이 되어
and the unwavering will
평화 통일을
for unification.
그대로 이루어질 것이며
The Declaration became the seed of life,
겨울을
and I believe that the
온
unification
세계에
on the Korean Peninsula will be fulfilled.
전하고 있습니다.
And this news of spring is spreading to all parts of the world.
아침이 가까울수록
However, as it comes closer to the dawn, it is most
작동의
dark.
시대는 냉전 시대의
We see
유물로
today the
남겨져
relics
있는
of the Cold War,
한반도의
and the
정전
Korean
상황은
Peninsula remains to be in the danger of an outbreak of war. And on the peninsula, there's clash between civilizations and ideologies
팽배한 위기감도
and polarization that escalate the tension
잊지 말아야 할 것입니다.
on this land. And this is something we must not forget.
누군가가 전쟁에서
If someone
누가
were to ask
이겼느냐고 묻는
who
것은
won in a war,
포항 지진에서
it is the same
누가
as asking
이겼느냐고
who won in an
묻는 것과
earthquake
같다라고
somewhere.
한 말에 전적으로 공감합니다.
I totally agree with this statement.
존경하는 평화가족 여러분,
Respected family of peace,
이제 전쟁은 누가 이기고 지는 것이 문제가
now war
아니며
is not a matter of who wins or loses.
모두의 피해이며
Everyone becomes a victim
지구촌의
of war,
재앙이며
and it is a disaster on
나아가
earth.
지구촌의
Furthermore,
멸망을
it can bring about
초래할 수
destruction
있기에
of the world.
더더욱 저는
This is why I fervently oppose war,
함께 평화를
and I take
이루자고
part
호소하는
in fulfilling and achieving the Declaration of World Peace that appeals to the public to achieve peace together.
존경하는 평화가족 여러분,
All family of
아주
peace,
최근까지도 한반도는
until very recently,
분쟁과 전쟁의
the Korean Peninsula
상징이었지만
served as a symbol of conflict and war.
평화를 상징하는 나라로
But it is changing to symbolize peace.
저는 그 중심에
I am certain
문화
that HWPL,
광고
this organization,
HWPL의 평화를
stands at the
위한
center
노력이
of this
있었음을
effort
알고
for
있습니다.
achievement of peace.
2018 평창
In 2018, there was the Pyeongchang Winter Olympic Games, and it was held under the theme of Peace Olympic Games.
HWPL이 만국 회의에 참석했던 수많은
However,
회의
many leaders that came from overseas to take part in HWPL's Warp Summit, these leaders have already called Korea as a nation of peace. And I remember that as it served as a prophecy to be fulfilled.
HWPL의 전쟁종식
Also, HWPL is working for Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War, DPCW, and its main efforts include implementing DPCW at an international level and having warp offices to form an alliance of religions and spreading a culture of peace through peace education. These endeavors and the devotion for these work, I believe that they will have positive impact on accelerating the unification of the Korean Peninsula.
앞서 드린 바와 같이
As I've spoken before,
대한민국의
I also devote myself to peaceful unification on the Korean Peninsula as a Buddhist leader.
이 나라에 또 이
And
세계에
as a leader,
평화 문화가 얼마나
I identify with the desperate need
전
for
세계에
peace
공감하고
in this generation.
특히 미래의
In particular,
우리 아이들이
having children who will become the key players in the
평화
future,
교육을 받고
receiving peace education
그렇게
since
교육된
young,
그들이 자라서는
and these educated children becoming leaders of peace,
평화의 시민이 되도록 하는 것은
and these children becoming citizens of peace. I believe that this is a very valuable work in promoting communication, coexistence,
가장 중요한
and mutual
가치
development.
있는 일이라고 생각을 합니다.
Hence, I believe it is crucial.
저는 오늘 이 자리에
Seeing all the youth that have gathered here because of their love for peace,
마음 깊은 곳에부터
it has moved my heart.
이렇습니다. 해서 저는 이 청년들에게
I would like to tell all the youth that are gathered
이
here
자리와 같은
that we should work together to ensure that this culture of peace that is shown through this event take root.
이러한 평화의 문화가
And we need to strive to spread this culture of peace across the globe.
HWPL
And we can do this by continuing to support the peace education of HWPL.
또한 각국의
In addition,
대통령들이
I have heard of presidents of different nations that support the peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula, and they are having meetings to cooperate toward this goal. And these meetings are led by HWPL. Everyone, isn't this remarkable?
그러한 역사를 읽어내는 이만희 대표님 행보에
To Chairman Lee, who is making history,
큰 응원의 박수
let us show our support through loud round of applause.
한반도 평화와 통일은
Peace in the Korean
민간
Peninsula,
차원의 노력으로
it will be done through the efforts at civil level.
우리 개개인이 평화 통일을
When all
지지하고
individuals support the peaceful unification
민간 차원의
and strive
교류에
to allow people to freely travel between two Koreas,
지지와 더불어
international support will be possible,
가능해
and we will be one step closer to this peaceful unification.
끝으로 이 모든
Lastly,
평화의 답을 가지고
Chairman Lee,
활동하는
who is working tirelessly with this answer for peace, I would like to express my gratitude for his efforts.
앞으로 모든 행보
And I promise
또한
to continue to support and provide any assistance possible
들어서
in carrying out
약속을 드립니다.
his efforts for peace.
우리 불교 지도자이신 동봉 큰 스님,
There's another Buddhist leader
의경 큰 스님 지지하시죠?
that have come here together. Do you support too?
함께하시기로 약속을 했습니다.
They all promised to work together. Please give them another round of applause as well.
세계 평화선언문 공표
I would like to sincerely congratulate you
중심으로
on the 5th annual commemoration of the Declaration of World Peace.
세계 평화와
And I have great anticipation
통일의 그날이
for making progress in achieving world peace and peaceful unification in the Korean Peninsula.
사에 가름하겠습니다.
Thank you for your time.
네, 감사합니다.
Thank you very much.
축사해 주신 김범패 스님께 다시 한번
Thank you to
뜨거운 박수
Venerable Kim
부탁드리겠습니다.
Bok-hae for the nice speech. Please give him a warm applause.
다음으로 오늘날의
Now,
대한민국을
I'd like to
이루신
call one of the very people who made the Korea as we
소개하겠습니다.
know it today. Mr. Oh Hee-ryu is the head of Yongin branch of the Korean War Veterans Group. He has fought in the Korean War. He was 18 years old in 1950 when the war broke out. Mr. Yu will give his congratulatory remarks for today's ceremony. Please welcome him to the stage with a warm applause.
사랑하는
Beloved members of HWPL,
안녕하십니까?
it's very good to see you.
이 자리에 만나
Ladies and gentlemen, it's great to see you with a great smile, big smiles on your face, even in this scouring sun and heat. I am Oh Hee-ryu. I am currently heading the Yongin branch of the Korean War Veterans Group. I myself am a Korean War veteran. In 1950, the Korean War broke out when the North Koreans invaded the South. I was only in 9th grade. I was 18 years old when the Korean War broke out. I had no strings to pull, so I had to fight in the war as a soldier. I joined the 7th Division of the Army, and it was an infantry unit. They call the 7th Division the 7-Star Division. And it turns out Mr. Lee, the HWPL chairman, also joined the same division as I. I only recently learned of this, and I'm sure I want to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Lee for fighting alongside our fellow soldiers. We had to risk our lives many different times. The 7th Division is known as a very brave division. It had many wins of the battles, and we salute each other saying, "Unite, I can do it." It was one of the divisions, it was the very first division to cross Taedong River in North Korea and enter Pyongyang among the alliance forces. And we were very close to unifying Korea through war at that time. And through these many battles we fought, we nearly covered the North Korean territory. But that meant many bloodshed was there and many lives were lost. We never were stripped of our unit flag. That means we fought very well. But even with those many wins, war left scars to the survivors and to me. There is no winner in war. It only reminds me of the fellow men who fought beside me at such young ages. I still remember them who fell even before they could see the prime of their lives. And even to this day, I cannot help tearing up thinking about them. War leaves only sorrow and pain to those who fell and to those who survived. And even with the very sacrifices we made to protect our country, we were left with not one country, but the country split in two. Now, these days, I meet with students all the time. I visit elementary schools and all grade schools and university schools to tell them the story of the people who fought the war and who saw the history happen. And that is part of the national security education sessions. Now, Mr. Lee, the chairman of HWPL, has fought in the same division as I told you before, and I only recently learned of this. I recently met a member of HWPL and learned of Mr. Lee's work. His story stirred a fire in my heart. Someone has seen what I saw, someone has heard what I had heard, and he took that and made it into pure will to work for peace. And his will is not only an empty shout, but is bringing real progress. That gave me hope, real hope. Mr. Lee declared the Declaration of World Peace. And through his declaration, he has started HWPL Peace Work. Their work is bringing us closer to the cessation of war and establishing world peace. I believe that is our shared cause for all global citizens. It is about bringing lives, saving lives, and about leaving a lasting legacy of peace for all future generations. I am certain that this will be a lasting legacy of peace for all. Respected ladies and gentlemen, I believe I am joined by many fellow veterans of war. We miss the Korea that is united as we know it from before. We miss our home country in one piece as before. And I miss, of course, my fellow soldiers who fought beside me.
아직 조국 통일과 세계 평화를 위해 힘을
And still, we have the courage and energy to work for a unified Korea and for global peace. On behalf of all my fellow men, I would like to ask all the global citizens, this is no time to draw lines between us. We must join hands and join efforts and join HWPL to work for peace. Look at these beautiful youth. Look at these beautiful men and women. Let's protect them from being thrown into the ravages of war. Let's protect them and make them use their talents and energy for the better good, for a better future, and for protecting the lives. Let's work together. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Yu, for the great speech. Please give him one more big applause. Now, many peace workers and citizens from around the world have sent their congratulations for the 5th anniversary of the Declaration of World Peace and shared their hopes and expectations for the adoption of the Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War by the international community. Let's take a look.
안녕하세요. My name is Azhar Majid and I'm the Administrator of World Assembly of Muslim Youth Philippines Office. I would like to express my warm congratulations to the 5th annual commemoration of the Declaration of World Peace and Peace Walk in South Korea. I would like also to emphasize the DPCW,
Particularly Article 5, self-determination, and Article 10, spreading a culture of peace.
The Declaration of World Peace is commemorating its 5th anniversary.
Mateo Pelus, Namibia, Deputy Speaker of Children's Parliament.
Korea and the unification. I truly hope for the unification of North and South Korea and peace in the Korean Peninsula. I'd also like to hope that as citizens of the world, we are working tirelessly and playing a big role in bringing peace and the end of conflict in our countries around the world. Let this generation and the next generation bring peace to the world because our humanity depends on it. Thank you.
All youths in Korea to make
Usama Jeljeli, President of the University Organization of Human Development in Tunisia.
will be achieved through HWPL, based in DPCW, Article 5, self-determination, and Article 10, spreading culture of peace. Let's make peace together. We are one.
Declaration of World Peace, 5th Annual Peace Walk.
The University of the South Pacific, IPYG members.
Article 5, self-determination. Article 10, spreading a culture of peace.
We believe
A peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula
by DPCW, we are one.
IPYG members of France Branch IPYG. Congratulations on the 5th anniversary of the Declaration of World Peace. We support the DPCW Article 5 self-determination and Article 10 spreading a culture of peace. And we support a peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula. IPYG China Shanghai Branch. Congratulations on the 5th anniversary of the Declaration of World Peace. We support a peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula. We are one.
네, 지구촌의 오랜 꿈이
The long-awaited global peace and the unification of the Korean Peninsula
우리들의 노력으로
will surely come true with a will and action brought together by people like us who joined as one for this cause. Now we're ready to start the peace walk.
만세상창과 걷기 대회
We will start off the peace walk with 3 hoorays. To announce the peace walk, I would like to ask Mr. Lee, the chairman of HWPL, to come to the stage once again. Directors of IPYG and IWPG, if you would please join us on stage as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome them with a big applause.
만세상창을 함께 외치기 위해
We will shout 3 hoorays.
일어나 주시기 바랍니다.
To do so, ladies and gentlemen, please rise from your seats.
장내에 계신 모든 분들은
We will have a shout of 3 hoorays to start off the march. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise from your seats. Now we will start the march.
만세!
Hooray to Korea. Hooray to HWPL. Hooray for global peace. Thank you very much. Now, from this moment, we will start the peace walk. Thank you. Distinguished guests, please follow the signs on the staff and join the peace walk as we go.
네, 귀빈 여러분께서는 안내에 따라 차례로 걷기 대회에 동참해 주시기 바랍니다. 귀빈 여러분들께서는 안내에 따라 차례로 걷기 대회에 동참해 주시기 바랍니다.